Hey guys, sorry for missing class today. I'm currently on a cruise somewhere around Puerto Rico right now, but I hope you guys are having great weather back in Milwaukee as well. I also promise this is not the 100th time I've recorded this video. So I'm going to give my talk on the groundwater quantity bill from the perspective of a Wisconsin trout angler. So my name is Evan Plank, and I'm an active member within Chapter 117 of Trout Unlimited, as well as an avid trout fisherman in the central part of Wisconsin. Trout Unlimited is a national organization consisting of over 400 different chapters and about 300,000 members from Alaska to Maine. We are comprised of dedicated lawyers, policy experts, and scientists whose mission is to conserve, protect, and restore North America's cold water fisheries and their watersheds. On May 10, 2016, the Attorney General, Brad Schimel, constructed the following legal opinion in response to a request from the Assembly Committee on Organization. I've determined that the Supreme Court did not address the newly passed Act 21 in Lake Buell Management District versus Department of Natural Resources. I further conclude that neither Wisconsin State Statute 281 nor the Public Trust Doctrine gives the DNR the authority to impose any condition not explicitly allowed in state statute or rule. In addition, no other authority exists which permits DNR to impose the conditions enumerated by the Assembly. This opinion restricts the DNR from putting conditions on well applications that would consider their cumulative impacts on streams, rivers, and lakes in the surrounding area. Allowing the Wisconsin legislation to impede the DNR's ability to consider cumulative impacts of high-capacity wells will inevitably lead to decreasing water levels of our cold water fisheries and watersheds. I appreciate this opportunity to stand before you today to defend our organization's mission. The restriction of the DNR to consider cumulative impact of high-capacity wells in Wisconsin affects the central portion of the state the most due to its hydrogeologic properties. The aquifer that most homeowners and farmers use for their domestic and agricultural uses is the Central Sands Aquifer. Agricultural use consumes by far the greatest amount of water due to intensive crops such as potatoes and corn. The aquifer consists of sand and gravel deposits that are greater than 50 feet deep, and most notably its unconfined aquifer, and is responsible for 300 lakes and 800 miles of trout streams. When hundreds of high-capacity wells are each pumping greater than 100,000 gallons of water per day, the lakes and rivers of this region will begin to dry up. When water is pumped at such high rates for irrigation, this does not allow the water to travel naturally to the surface water features. It isn't so much the pumping of one high-capacity well that leads to a decrease in surface water features, rather it's a cumulative pumping of hundreds of wells in the nearby area. The effects of excessive pumping have shown in previous cases, such as one of my favorite trout fishing streams, the Little Plover River. The Little Plover River has been a popular world-class trout fishery since the 1800s, but in 2005, portions of the river have gone dry due to the lowering of the water table. This does not allow trout, who are migratory fish species, to travel for their spawning habits. This will inevitably lead to the destruction of trout species in these rivers and streams. Many people that I have talked to from the Little Plover River area believe they are capable of doing a better job of protecting the area lakes, rivers, and streams, better so than the legislation has. Despite the indisputable scientific evidence presented to local leaders, we have failed as a state to preserve the fishery for future generations. The current state of whoever pumps the deepest and fastest is not sustainable and will lead to other fisheries in the nearby area also going dry. I do not come before you today to ask for all future well permits to be declined, rather to consider cumulative impact of high-capacity wells with regard to pumping near trout rivers and streams. A compromise must be established that allows for irrigation of crops that does not affect the water levels for these fisheries so they can be enjoyed for generations to come. On behalf of Wisconsin Trout Unlimited and local trout anglers throughout the state, I thank you for your time and consideration in regards to this issue. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of the class.